Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division with the tournament win for the qualifying round here in the Easter Classic Tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, make sure that you do hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Get the ultimate tournament guides for Expert Division or any other division in the game by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. There will be plenty of drops in this playthrough here and a lot of good lines. I'm very pleased with that for being so early in the qualifying round, and I hope you will enjoy that as well. Follow the info box and the information there so you can follow along with the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, and ball and club type. Make sure though to listen what I do say, because sometimes the video that is displayed is not entirely the same as the info box on the right, and that is because I will in the info box always try to provide the information and the tweaks that I want us to go with. So have that in mind when you're watching and listening to the video. So let's go to hole number one. Hole number one, and now I'm going to play a layup option, and I will explain in the end why I choose to play this way instead of trying to go for green. 6 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right. You can see that I'm playing with top of the red ring by the bunker, half of the blue ring into the rough on the right. Now, apply an adjustment that will be maximum distance plus 10. And now when I'm taking this shot, I'm using full curl to the right, and I would strongly recommend here to move the ball to full curl to the right, but then reduce with approximately half a ball from max. Because I do feel that we're coming pretty close to the right there, and also pretty close to the rough there on the right. Now, it's all good, because we still stay on the fairway, but I'm just thinking a great right might be dangerous. So reduce the curl so you don't push the ball as far to the right as we did there on that drive. Regardless where you end up, you're going to look for minimum distance of your club. You can see here now when we are so close to the right hand side, we're gonna be basically almost too far up in my opinion to be able to go with a backspin shot with a thorn. 3.5 bar backspin. I will adapt the backspin based on where I am. I do want to have the first bounce on the green though, but it could sometimes be that I play with no backspin, and sometimes I can play with 3 or 4 bars of backspin depending on where I end up. But the reason I want to play with this type of setup is due to the fact that yardage notes will not be something that we can apply because we do not play a linear way. But then playing from absolute minimum distance line will then always be minimum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and you can see here that we dropped that one right at pin. As I was about to explain, or like as I said that I will explain, why don't I try to go for green and why don't I even suggest that? It's because there are so many risk factors involved that, and when weighing risk and reward, I do believe that playing the way that is suggested here will give you a more consistent way to get to that eagle, and it's a perfect ball with your short iron that you only need to do. The big part with trying to send it here on hole number one is the water. I've seen and I've tried plenty of ways when it comes into the practice arena with different type of tailwinds, and the first bounce is very inconsistent, and you need to be lucky to not go into the water, and that could result into obviously going into the water. You can clip the rough and roll out on green, you can go over the green, you can stay in the bunker, or you can have a very weird wedge with a straight crosswind. So with all those things in mind, in my book, I rather lay up and rely on the fact that I will hit perfect on my short iron to take that drop. But obviously, if you struggle massively to hit perfect with your short iron, then maybe you should just gamble and just go bananas and try to get that ball to green. So I'm not against it. I just want to explain why I'm not going to follow that along, and I'm gonna go my way, which I feel is going to be the better way. For hole number 2, we do want to start with a power 4 ball. Doesn't matter what power 4 ball it is, because we are only looking to get into minimum distance of our club. Blue ring to the right by the sand trap line, and once we have done that, we change to a kingmaker. Now, 4 bars of backspin, 1 bar of left spin. I'm looking for an 1159 pull angle, not a heavy one, just a normal 1159. Maximum distance with a 15% over adjustment, power 2 ball settings, which is 1-to-1 plus 1.2. So 9.1 rings for 7.9 miles per hour. Bounces nicely on the fairway, gets itself down with a nice line towards the pin. Beautiful, because this is a tough hole to drop, especially in headwind. But again, it couldn't be easier than this. Power 4 ball, absolute minimum distance. Find the correct spot, add the spin, change to a kingmaker, and then get in the hole. On hole number 3, we're getting a very tough wind, and here you have a massive advantage if you're able to play with a big boy driver, which I would like to call Apocalypse level 6 plus. That also goes for Thor's Hammer level 6 plus in my opinion. Can you make it over with an Apocalypse level 5 and level 4? Yes, you can, but you're going to have to go with a lot of overpower, and you're going to have to be a little bit lucky when it comes to not clipping rough on the other side. You will still roll out though, but it might give you a different type of wrestle than what I'm getting here. I do start at the plus 11 yard mark. I go 1 bar of side spin to the right and 7 bars of top spin. I play with a win 4 power 4 ball, but you can as easily play with a win 3 power 4 ball instead. Adjust max plus 10, and then you will apply 2 rings extra than what you adjust into overpower. So let's say that you adjust 1 ring into overpower, you play with 3 rings of overpower instead. And that's the same if you adjust 2 rings into overpower, you go 4 rings, etc. And we go with approximately 1.5 ball of curl to the right, in curl, and looking to bounce over on the other side. Second shot, we're gonna play with a grizzly. We play with a power 4 ball if you are, having a short drive clipping the rough, or you in that case are playing with maybe a power 3 ball, which also is possible. Again, you can mix around with different type of balls here, but then you will play with a sniper and kingmaker. You can see here that I'm trying to mix around a little bit here, trying to find a spot, but I decide in the end to go down into playing with the grizzly instead by using in that case a little bit of backspin, a little bit of side spin. The problem with this type of shot though, when using the fairway before the green, is that it's so uneven and it's so tough to get that one in, in the way that we do want. Sure, we could maybe play with a guardian with a max backspin shot on green, but I do think if we can, work a little bit with this shot here with our grizzly, maybe if we offset a little bit to the right, we would get that one a little bit closer towards the pin. But I'm not expecting this one to drop though, but there are plenty of other chances in this round, but especially having the headwind for the drive definitely complicates a thing or two. For hole number 4, we're gonna play with a special ball here. I play with a Burns ball, which is the same as the 3-point ball that is listed in the info box. 3 backspin, 1 left spin, top of the red ring by the rough line with the ball guideline pointing towards the hole. You can see here now it's pointing towards the hole, basically being like 2/3 into, 1/3 into the green square, the bright green square row there pointing at the pin. That's what I was trying to say. Now, pull angle, I'm looking to play with a 12, like as a straight pull possible. That is at least my thought with it. Medium distance with a 15% over adjustment, power 4 ball setting. So power 4 ball, even though we play power 3 ball. So it's a 1-to-1 plus 0.5 adjustment. Perfect ball, and this one gets right that pin for an absolute beauty here on hole number 4. And I do believe we are going to drop this one a lot, because this is actually a very nice and consistent line on hole 4. Hole number 5, I'm not gonna blast it, and I'm gonna explain that in a bit as well. 4 bars of topspin, and I will be using no side spin whatsoever with the rock level 9. Here you can see that I do start at absolute max distance of my club, and from here I'm looking to be somewhat a little bit closer to the right side rough than left side rough, but more centered in terms of where the ball guideline is positioned. Maximum distance, no elevation for this drive is what we're doing. And you can see here that we adjust just outside plus yardage. When it comes to playing with the rock level 7, you start at absolute max distance, but instead of just taking your shot after your adjustment, you shall push up 5 yards. So if you are at plus 0, then you go up to plus 5 that you push up, just to compensate for the 5 yards less power that you have on that club. Now, getting to 360, but that is not really what I'm gonna look for, especially here. I'm gonna look for the Grizzly position. You can see here that the Grizzly is at plus 9. That is the number that I will be using, okay? So here, with the Grizzly level 9 at plus 9, when it's my turn, that equals, in my book, 40% slider minus 30% elevation. 1.5 bar topspin, 1 bar side spin to the right. You can see that the yellow ring at the bottom just barely fall into the bunker with the ball guideline through the hole. And I cannot stress that enough, the ball guideline needs to be through the hole. A clear 1201 for our pull, very, very important as we do adjust further down. And then we will apply just a tiny click of overpower here as well. The same as we will do on hole number 7. Also, you see here that we just barely cover the bottom arrows there. And the reason we do that is because, once again, we fall down into the bunker, so we need to add that to our adjustment, otherwise we will fall short. Right that pin for a beautiful eagle here on hole number 5, which is a tough hole. So, let me explain why I'm not gonna blast it. That win that I got there, it was a win that I got several times in practice mode. And it was not in just the absolute highest wind with a wind 0 ball around 13 miles per hour, then I got it over with 6 bars of topspin. And I don't want to single out, you know, an only way of playing with big board drivers. I do believe a POC 7 and a POC 8 will make it over with around 11, 12 miles per hour wind. But the problem you will have there is that you will then have a very weird wedge towards the pin, and sometimes even a min distance short iron, which also will be hard to dial in. So I do believe more in playing a safe drive, and then we can use either plus yardage or yardage notes to drop that shot on hole number 5, which we did in a nice way. Hole number 6, we're gonna play a no movement shot with our drive, and this goes for Apocalypse level 4 plus 6 bars of topspin, 2.5 bar side spin right, and we changed that right away. 5.5 bar topspin, 2.5 bar side spin to the right is the correct amount. Now, make sure to not have any 1159 on your drive here, because we don't want to go too far. We're looking to be as maximum 390 yards. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. When it comes to Apocalypse level 4, you do push up 6 yards after your adjustment, because you have 6 yards less power on the Apocalypse level 4. Here you will either get this rollout like we're getting here now, and then you will get to around 390. You can also get 2 dead bounces, then you will be somewhere around 370, 375, so you need to have that in mind. But if you do get to 389 in this case, we are going to play very close to minimum distance of our club, and this is absolutely perfect. You can see here now that we are pushing up. We're trying to count rings from min, and I get that one to approximately 6 or 7 rings without having studying that much. But now, 2 bars of side spin to the left, 2.5 bar of backspin, ball guideline through the hole, approximately 1 green square. Very important, as you don't want to fall short. We could even consider to have the ball guideline through the hole even a little bit more. Now, when we do adjust, we need to have an 1159. Here I would like to go with more towards a stronger 1159 than a flicker, if that makes sense. Obviously, it shouldn't be a huge one, but at least that we should be a noticeable 1159. I did adjust 7.2 rings, and here, looking at the result here, we need to adjust a little bit less. Speed-wise, we are there by the cup, but if we do have a little bit better 1159, we would be coming in with a little bit better speed as well. So I would judge this one to have to be played from 389 yards. We do play, in that case, 18% slider minus 10% elevation. So 18% slider, minus 10% elevation from 389 yards would be my tweak here for hole number 6. For the final of the par 3s, we're gonna play a special ball here as well, as we do want to go for a rough bump. I'm gonna play 1.8 bars of backspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right. Now, look, top of the inner ring, the green ring, by the edge of the rough, with the ball guideline just going center in between the bright and the dark green square row, approximately 1 green square right of pin. Pull angle is going to have to be flicker 1159. That is at least what we're looking for. And then we will apply 6 ring adjustment for 4.9 miles per hour, which is max plus 25 power 1 ball settings. But look at my position into the ring. I use a tiny click of overpower just to compensate for the slight drop down onto the green. So that is something that you do have to do. Right the pin for a beautiful hole-in-one, and again, the overpower needs to be there. You will still hit the rough without the overpower, but you will most likely then fall, in that case, left and short. So, again, this is a tough one, but this is honestly the absolute best way to play. That's why we play a more aggressive route. You can play this shot with a win 4 ball if you want to as well, but there is definitely great value in playing this with a win 5 ball. And again, you don't have to play with a power 3 win 5. You can play with whatever win 5 ball you have in your bag. Hole number 8, we are also going to do a no movement drive here as well. 3 topspin, 3 bars of a side spin to the right. And now we will be adjusting maximum distance plus 10. Once that is done, we will then push up to max. Make sure that the ball guideline is pointing straight towards the tee box, so you don't push up in a weird angle. Now I'm going full curl to the right, 1.5 bar, 1.5 ring of overpower, trying to hit perfect. This is full curl with Apocalypse level 6 and should be so with Apocalypse level 5 as well. When it comes to Apocalypse level 7 and 8, I would recommend to remove half a ball from max curl to make sure that you don't over curl it, and also especially if you do hit a great right, that could be danger. We're looking to get up into that pocket of a fairway at the top there. We could maybe consider to reduce a little bit of topspin when we play with 3 bars of topspin. We don't want to roll too far, but we also don't want to clip the rough short. So somewhere between 2.8 bars of topspin and 3 bars of topspin is what I'm thinking is going to be good. Second shot is from here going to be a wedge with a very nice wind angle, I must say. It's not completely straight, but definitely something we can work on. And looking at this here now, I'm trying to look this one as, you know, I judged that one to be around 60% slider, and I did play 57% slider, 20% elevation. The thing we need to have in mind here now, though, is that we need to let the ball guideline go through the hole. We cannot chicken out like I'm doing here, because we do adjust slightly further down here on that little, not plateau, on that fringe that we're playing. You can also see the top of the ball guideline a little bit before that it actually is a little bit of a little glitchy. So make sure the ball guideline go through the hole so you don't fall short. I did adjust 57% slider, 20% elevation. Looking at the direction here on where the ball is, we are right at pin, but we need to have the ball guideline through the hole because we cannot allow ourselves to go short on a shot like this. Rapier is because I do have that one in a good level. Otherwise, I would definitely go with the Endbringer before the Rapier. Hole number 9, we play a no movement here as well. 6 bars of topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. Yes, we don't want to use more topspin in this because we do not want to risk going into the rough or bunker on the left hand side. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 10, and once that is done, we will push up to max. Make sure that you do push up with a straight ball guideline towards the tee, otherwise you do risk having a different direction than what you want to. Max overpower is what we're looking for, trying to hit perfect. A little great left, but that's going to be fine. And we see the ball bounce on the fairway and then the sides, 2 bars of side spin definitely will help here, especially with a great left, to take ourselves away from getting into the rough or into the sand. If you do get into the rough or into the sand on the left there, you shall not be alarmed, because you will still reach to the green to take the eagle. But now we actually have a pretty interesting line towards the pin here. You can see here that, you know, we could maybe go for a sand bump if we want to, but that's not really my play. I'm gonna go max backspin, 1 right spin here with the Guardian. And I'm going to aim with the right side of the yellow ring to be just by the fringe line. And you can see here as well that we do have half of the blue ring cutting the fringe at the bottom. And we are at plus 20. So we do have a lot of references here to work with. Adjustment here is what the thing that I do play is I do play maximum distance plus 5 power 5 ball settings. Now we need to apply curl, and this is obviously difficult to get correct. I'm trying to go with 3/4 of ball to the right, looking to be a little bit short in curl, and the plan here now is to bounce on the green, up on the hill here, and fall down towards the pin. When getting this one very close, this is a chance for an albatross, even though it's obviously a very difficult one to get. But if we do add a little bit more curl, you know, who knows what have happened. But regardless of what, the eagle is the play here that we're looking for. But if we can get an albatross here, we're definitely gonna celebrate, because that is a big bonus. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for the qualifying round of Expert Division in the Easter Classic Tournament. Video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure to get the ultimate tournament guides for Expert or any other divisions by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link directly in the description down below. Thank you once again for watching, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.